بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين واللعنة الدائمة الأبدية على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Assalamu alaikum, my beloved ones, wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, we are going to continue the rulings of Hajj al-Tamattu'. We mentioned that Hajj al-Tamattu' is composed of certain acts, and these acts which we ended up into mentioning them were about the Ihram, and then we mentioned the 13 acts, and then we mentioned the conditions of Hajj al-Tamattu'. And then we are going to do a few other rules of Hajj al-Tamattu', which is starting from rule 151. Okay, so إذا فرغ المكلف من أعمال عمرة التمتع. So remember, the Prophet ﷺ said, دخلت العمرة في الحج هكذا. So عمرة التمتع and Hajj التمتع are two parts of this one whole Hajj. So Umrah is part. For those people who are from outside, they have to do together in the same year, in the same Hajj season. They cannot delay it for next year, like Umrah this year, next year. Umrah al-Tamattu', Hajj al-Tamattu', they have to be like one act. So that is what we mentioned previously. Now, between Umrah and Hajj, like you entered Makkah with your visa, and that your visa was what? The Ihram. Your visa was what? Ihram. And then you are going to take off your Ihram, the Libasul Ihram, and you're going to exit the state of Ihram. Until what time? Until 8th of Dhul Hajj, and some days go 9th of Dhul Hajj, because the first day of Hajj is 9th Dhul Hajj, where the first obligation is there. But it is recommended to go Mina first and then Arafat, but many people, they go direct to Arafat, regardless of that. So you are in Makkah, and then you are going to stay in Makkah until you get the day of Hajj comes. Now here's the question. While I'm in Makkah, can I go out of Makkah? Can I visit Ghar Hira? Can I visit those places like Arafat? Arafat is out of Makkah, not in Makkah. So can I exit Makkah or not during this time? After the Hajj al-Tamattu' and after the Umrah al-Tamattu' and before the Hajj al-Tamattu'. Let me just do something here because I can hear myself. Okay. Let's hope the echo is gone. Okay, perfect. So we are done with Umrah. We're waiting for the Hajj. Can someone leave Makkah in this time? So during the Amal of Umrah, yes, one can leave and one can come back. But after completing the Amal, there's a discussion amongst the scholars based on a narration which is understood differently by different scholars. Some said you cannot absolutely leave Makkah without any need or necessity to leave. And if you leave, then you enter the state of Ihram and leave Makkah. And when you are done with your errands out of Makkah, when you're coming back, don't go direct to Arafat, come through Makkah. That is opinion number one. Opinion number two, they said no, you can leave Makkah for any necessity. However, if you leave Makkah for a necessity, then what happens here? Then you are going to enter the state of Ihram and leave Makkah. However, you don't have to come back to Makkah and go from Makkah to Arafat. You can go directly from wherever you are, just go directly to Arafat. So the difference between opinion number one and opinion number two, opinion number one, enter the state of Ihram and leave Makkah. And when you are coming to Arafat, come through Makkah. Opinion number 2, no, you don't have to come through Makkah. You can go Arafat wherever. The third opinion is, no, you can leave Makkah. There is no prohibition on leaving Makkah. Okay, the narration talks about abandoning Makkah. That means abandoning your Umrah, abandoning your Hajj. As long as you are committed to performing your Hajj, then you can leave and come back to Makkah. So that is the argument here. In our session, we are going to take different masail today, different rulings regarding exiting Makkah before the A'mal of Hajj, before 9th Dhul Hajj, before 8th Dhul Hajj, all these days. What is the ruling? Can someone leave or not? So let's see what Sayyid Sistani Damadallahu says among these different rulings. إذا فرغ المكلف من أعمال عمرة التمتع لم يجز له الخروج من مكة لغير الحج على الأحوط وجوبا. Okay, so it should be لغير الحاجة. So it is not, if someone completes the amal of Umrat al-Tamattu, it would not be permissible for that person to exit Makkah, okay, other than the purpose of Hajj, which is written, which could be other than Hajj, because the general ruling is that somebody leaves, they can leave for any purpose. For example, many times bags gets lost. You did your Umrah, and then Jeddah airport, they call you, we found your bag. And many times it happened. So those people whose bag was found, they say, Sheikh, we have to go to Jeddah. What should we do? Then you go to Jeddah and get your bag. It's a necessary thing, you know. It's not just like going Jeddah to sightseeing or just entertaining or enjoying. No, you are for a certain purpose. You have a Hajj. So Sayyid Sistani Damadullah says there is no strong evidence prohibiting a person exiting Makkah after performing Umrat al-Tamattu. However, if somebody goes for certain Hajj or certain things after exiting Makkah, then he should not leave Makkah on the basis of obligatory precaution, because many scholars, they give fatwa. So Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah wants to just keep the hold of precautionary measure here. Then don't leave Makkah illa an yakuna khurujuhu, unless if his exit is lihajatin, for a purpose. وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ ضَرُورِيًا, even if this need or a purpose was not necessary, it could wait. You see, let's say he had his clothes enough, or he had his wife's bag, they had their clothes enough to survive Makkah. Those things were extra. Let's say they were going from Hajj to Pakistan or somewhere, and they did not need the bag. Okay, they did not need the suitcase. Still, it's not a necessary Hajj, but suitcase being there at the airport and being beside you, that is a concern. At least it's in front of your eyes, secure. There you don't know what could happen. Somebody might break in the suitcase or something can happen. As I remember once, I was traveling and our suitcase was lost, and when it came, it was open and half of the suitcase was empty. The valuables gone. So anyhow, and we came to collect the suitcase after like a couple of days, and it was there at the airport. So the workers, some of the workers, they might have taken the opportunity and broke the locks and got the juicy stuff out of the suitcase. Anyhow, so therefore, maybe it's not a necessary. That's fine, as long as it's a need, you can leave Makkah. So that's why he said, on the basis of obligatory precaution, if there is no Hajj, don't leave Makkah. If there is a need, even if it is not a necessary need, like you have to do it, something really serious, you can leave Makkah. But there's a condition. He said, وَلَمْ يَخَفْ فَوَاتُ أَعْمَالِ الْحَجِّ, and there was no fear that the amal of Hajj will be missed by him or her. He knows that he will go get his suitcase and come back. Or he knows he's going to get a visa of other country. He needs to go after Makkah, and he will stay a few days in Jeddah and come back. Like before the day of Hajj, he will be here. لغير الحج على الأحوط وجوبا, on the basis إلا أن يكون لغير الحاجة على الأحوط وجوبا إلا أن يكون خروجه لحاجة وإن لم تكن ضرورية. Number one, not it's حاجة, even it's not serious. So number two conditions that allow you to exit Makkah: حاجة, not necessary, seriously, and ولم يخف فوات أعمال الحج, and there was no fear that you will miss out the a'mal of Hajj. That means you will be in Makkah by 8th of the Hajj. ففي هذه الحالة, now what happens if there was a fear, that there was a concern? I may not be, I don't know the visa, I'm going to go Jeddah for visa, the embassies are there, I don't know, I may come back early, I may not be able to come back early. What will happen in that case? So he says, وفي هذه الحالة إذا علم أنه يتمكن من الرجوع إلى مكة والإحرام منها للحج فالأظهر جواز خروج محلا. Okay, so he said that if in this case في هذه الحالة إذا علم أنه يتمكن, he knows that he is able to come back to Makkah, he is able to return Makkah and enter the state of Ihram, that's fine. فالأظهر جواز خروج محلا. فالأظهر, then most upper. Remember one of the opinions, get out of Makkah in the state of Ihram. Sayyid Sistani says, if you are sure and you are not going to miss the Amal of Hajj, or you are not going to miss the Ihram of Hajj, then you can come, you can leave Makkah in normal clothes, normal state. You don't have to enter the state of Ihram and come back to Makkah and enter the state of Ihram and then go to Arafat, go for Hajj. So he says, in this case, the case is what? Two conditions: that there is a necessity, not a serious necessity. However, he knows that he will be able to come back before 8th of the Hajj, or on the top of in the morning of the 8th of the Hajj, or in the day of 8th of the Hajj. The maximum, the deadline is the 9th day, the day of Arafat. In the morning time, he'll be back and he'll enter the state of Ihram and immediately go for Arafat. If he knows he can do that, okay, then he can leave Makkah without the state of Ihram. So he says, وَفِي هَذِي الْحَالَةِ, with these two conditions are available. إِذَا عَلِمَ أَنَّهُ يَتَمَكَّنْ مِنَ الرُّجُوعِ إِلَى مَكَّةِ, if he had the knowledge that, if he was aware or he knew that he would be able to return to Makkah and enter the state of Ihram from it for the Hajj, then most apparently, فَالْأَظْهَرْ جَوَازُ خُرُوجِ مُحَلًّا. Why say this is that? Says most apparently, like this Azhar and Zahir, these are words, like we have Dalil. Dalil has apparent meaning to a marja or majority. Some marja comes and he says, no, more apparent to me is this opinion. So he opposes the opinion of other maraja and he says most apparent or more apparent to me, Azhar. So Zahir, majority of the maraja, they give apparent opinion from the evidence, because Dalil, the evidence has the words, they apparently mean something. There might be some unapparent meaning, which God knows best. But the mujtahid tries to see the apparent meaning of the text. So other maraja, they say no. If he's going to leave Makkah, he leaves Makkah in the state of Ihram. Okay? Sayyid Sistani says, if these two conditions are available, it's a necessity, and he's going to come back to Makkah, he can leave Makkah without entering the state of Ihram. فَالْأَظْهَرْ جَوَازُ خُرُوجِ مُحَلًّا. Most apparently, it is permissible for him to leave Makkah in the normal state, not state of Ihram. Okay. Now, وَإِنْ لَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِذَلِكَ, and if he did not know about it, he was not aware that he would come back when? Before 9th of the Hajj, or before the time of Arafat. Okay. وَإِنْ لَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِذَلِكَ, وخرج لحاجته. He did not know he would come back on time or not. He was not sure. He said, I may not. وخرج لحاجته. And he left for his need. He left Makkah. فالظاهر أنه لا يجب عليه حينئذ الرجوع إلى مكة بل له أن يذهب إلى عرفات من مكانه هذا هذا ولا يجوز له ولا. Okay, so this is something which someone, he had done the a'mal of Umrat al-Tamattu, completed it, and between the days of Umrat al-Tamattu and end of Umrat al-Tamattu and beginning of Hajj, the Hajj a'mal, Arafat, okay, in this middle period. So what happens if he was not aware and he left and he realized, oh my goodness, I will be like tight in this situation and I will not be able to go to Makkah and embrace Ihram. وَإِن لَمْ يَعْلَمْ بِذَلِكَ, he doesn't know that will he be, and he left for his Hajj. So must he come back to Makkah? He says, apparently, الظاهر أنه لا يجب عليه حينئذ الرجوع إلى مكة. He doesn't need to return to Makkah. Okay? He doesn't need to come back to Makkah. Why? Khalas, I mean, he left, he did not know. So what should he do? He should enter the state of Ihram, okay, and then go to Arafat directly. But لا يجب عليه حينئذ. In that case, it is not obligatory upon him to return to Makkah, الرجوع إلى مكة, بل له أن يذهب إلى عرفات. It is permissible for him to go directly to Arafat, obviously entering the state of Ihram. After entering the state of Ihram, min makani, wherever he's in Jeddah airport, he's in wherever place, he's running his errand, the needs, and now he realized that if he goes to Makkah, he will miss out his Hajj, he'll miss out Arafat. So just go direct to Arafat, and no need to go Makkah back due to the traffic, because especially those days, last days, the traffic is so heavy that people might be stuck in the traffic and he might lose the day of Arafat. هذا ولا يجوز لمن أتى بعمرة التمتع أن يترك الحج اختيارا. Somebody who's performed Umrah al-Tamattu, he cannot abandon the Hajj. Even that Hajj was recommended. Okay? We said that these two things are, once you did Umrah, that means you are in the manasik of Hajj. Even the Umrah and Hajj, they sound separate, but remember the Prophet ﷺ mixed his two fingers of his two hands like this. دخلت العمرة في الحج. So they become like one part. So you do one part, you can't leave the rest of the part. If you do Umrah, you have to do Hajj. You cannot abandon Hajj. So he says, وَلَا يَجُوزُ لِمَنْ أَتَى بِعُمْرَةِ التَّمَتُّعِ. And it is not permissible for someone who performed Umrah al-Tamattu' and يترك الحج اختيارا, to abandon the Hajj optionally. Okay, you have an option to complete the Hajj or your option to leave. No, don't choose that option to abandon the Hajj. Do the Hajj. Necessity is different. This is talking about voluntarily, optionally, no compulsion, no stress or no pressure. ولو كان الحج استحبابيا. Even though if the Hajj was mustahab, he cannot. He has to do the Hajj. So people, they say, what about Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam? He was in Makkah and he converted his Umrah al-Tamattu to Umrah Mufrada and left for Kufa. Yeah, but look what was there. It was a necessity. Kill Hussein alayhi salam, even if he was hanging to the curtains of Kaaba. Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam received a death penalty in Makkah. That is a necessity. That is a serious problem. So he had to leave Makkah, not to violate the sanctity of Makkah, the secrecy of Makkah, the sacredness of Makkah. That is what Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam did by leaving Makkah. So that is a necessity. So optionally, no. If you're compelled to leave Makkah, then that's something else. But optionally, you cannot abandon Hajj after doing Umrah التمتع. نعم إذا لم يتمكن من الحج فالأحوط وجوبا أن يجعلها عمرة مفردة فيأتي بطواف النساء. So what is the difference between عمرة التمتع and عمرة مفردة? The difference between عمرة التمتع and عمرة مفردة, we said, is طواف النساء and the intentions. Okay, so you have done your Umrah Tamattu. You are in Makkah. You receive a kind of issue. You have to leave. God forbid, your father is sick, your mother is sick. You have to travel back to their hometown, your hometown, and this and that. So this is necessity comes. Now, what should you do? I heard that I should not abandon Hajj. Yeah, but in this case, if there's an emergency situation like that, okay, then you can convert your Umrah Tamattu to Umrah Mufrada, like Imam Hussein alayhi salam did. Okay, convert it to Umrah Umrah al-Mufrada. So what is missing? Tawaf al-Nisa. So he says, Naam, idha lam yatamakkan min al-Hajj. Yes, if someone was not able to perform the Hajj after completing the Umrah al-Tamattu, then on the basis of obligatory precaution, فالأحوط وجوبا أن يجعلها عمرة مفردة فيأتي بطواف النساء. So he performs the tawaf of the Nisa, which we are going to explain in the rituals of Hajj. Okay, that was whoever has completed the A'mal of Hajj, Manasik of Umrah. So the time in the middle between Umrah and between Hajj, can someone leave Makkah? Sayyidi Sistan says, yes, if there is a need and he's going to come back, he knows that he's going to come back, then yes, he can leave Makkah and come back and enter the state of Ihram from there. So Yajuz, this ruling talks about, can someone leave Makkah during the Ihram of Umrah al-Tamattu, before completing the Manasik of Umrah al-Tamattu? Let's see. يجوز للمتمتع أن يخرج من مكة قبل إتمام أعمال عمرته. It is permissible for someone who's performing Umrah al-Tamattu أن يخرج من مكة, to leave Makkah before completing the أعمال of Umrah, أعمال of his Umrah. إذا كان متمكنا من الرجوع إليها على الأظهر, if he was able to come back to Makkah and continue the amal of Umrah على الأظهر, most apparently. Here that means there are fuqaha, they do not allow this kind of thing which Sayyidi Sistani has allowed, that even it is apparently, most apparently, that someone during the amal, that means let's say taqsir was left, okay, or let's say he came in Makkah with labbaik Allahumma labbaik and settled in the hotel, and now he needs to leave Makkah, but you have not done your tawaf, 2 rakat of tawaf, sa'i between Safa and Marwa, taqsir. Or after this, after the tawaf, he said that, okay, I have enough time for sa'i. If you do the tawaf, you have to do the sa'i in the same day. Same day means not next day. So he did the tawaf in the morning, and he said, now let me go and bring the stuff from Jeddah or something like that. Let me go and see my friend in Jeddah, and he's in Ihram, in the state of Ihram, and he is also not completed. And I'll come back, inshallah, before the night falls, I'll come back and I'll do my sa'i between Safa and Marwa. No, he says, if you are aware that you are going to come back and do your sa'i in time, it is maraja, other maraja, they said no. Sayyidi Sistani, they said apparently no. Sayyidi Sistani says more apparently to me. More apparent to me is yes, he can, as long as he can come back and perform. But he says, as a recommended precaution, avoid, just complete your manasik. You're going to go in taxi or bus, and you're going to smell things, and you're going to see things and mirror and all those prohibitions, 25 restrictions of ihram. You'll mess up with your ihram. So it's better to complete it, and just then after you exit the state of ihram, then you can go meet your friends, and here and there. Maybe this friend was like, it was a necessity, mild necessity, but it was necessity, not a severe necessity, because Sayyidi Sistani said, even if it was not the need was not necessary, like serious necessity, that's fine. any need, anything, you need to see your friend which you have not seen for 5 years, he lives in Jeddah, that's fine. So this is something which is about the return, the one who is going to leave Makkah during the a'mal of Umrat al-Tamattu. That means he performed certain a'mal, and then he knows that he has a good gap in between some of the a'mal. He utilizes his gap, travels and comes back before. He said it's okay as long as you come back before the a'mal becomes invalid. That means by leaving gaps between the a'mal of Umrah. There are certain gaps, only 10 minutes, not more. But some gaps, the whole day is allowed, such as this the tawaf and sa'i. And taqsir, maybe a couple of days as well. So basically, some a'mal, no. Like salat, tawaf and salat al-tawaf, they need to be together in less than 10 minutes. But then sa'i, morning done, evening, that's fine. Tawaf and nisa, let's say if we were doing Umrah al-Mufrada, then you can do like after 2-3 days. Tawaf and nisa doesn't need to be performed in the same day. So same day, tawaf of Umrah al-Tamattu and sa'i. These two things. So you have a gap between. So let's say when كان الأحوط استحبابا تركه, even though it's recommended precaution to avoid it. Okay. So what is haram, Sayyidina? You said it is haram. Fuqaha said it is haram. Because Sayyidi Sistani says on the basis of obligatory precaution, don't do it. Okay. If you did not have a need. Okay. إذا فرغ المكلف من أعمال عمرة التمتع لم يجوز له الخروج من مكة لغير الحاجة على الأحوط وجوبا. So there is a haja. Okay. Even if it is not severe, you can, and you did not fear. So if these two things are not there, then on the basis of obligatory precaution, don't leave Makkah. Other scholars, they prohibited leaving Makkah. Say the Sistani uses precaution. So what is the prohibition of leaving Makkah? Is it like we said, say the Sistani says obligatory precaution, don't leave unless if the necessity is there, even if there's not severe necessity, or you can gain. Some other scholars, they said, no, don't leave Makkah. It's prohibited to leave Makkah. So what is this prohibition of leaving Makkah? Al-Muharram, like what is the meaning of leaving Makkah? Because Makkah is big. Now, if I go to different places of Makkah, even if they are like in parallel with Mina or parallel with things which are out of Makkah, is it still I have committed haram without going need? Like for example, going to Ghar Hira. Some of the representatives say this Sistan says that Ghar Hira you can visit, but not on the top. They said top is out of the border of Makkah. So if there's no need and necessity to go to Ghar Hira, you see, then you should not go. On the basis of obligatory precaution, you cannot go to the cave of Hira on the top. Down, it's okay because you're still in the outskirts of Makkah. But going on the top, somehow, like this is the top of the mountain. This is the mountain. So the lower level of the mountain is in Makkah. As you go all the way top, okay. So what happens? This area is out of the border of Makkah, top. So that's why he doesn't allow people to go to the top of Ghar Hira unless if there was a necessity. What was the necessity? Maybe it can be historical necessity, some kind of not. He said even if the necessity was not severe. So if you really need to learn, knowledge is a kind of necessity, but it's not a severe. You can learn later on. But no, you want to go there and then you will not have time after the manasik of Hajj. You may need to leave Makkah and you might not have an opportunity. So all these things are like, I remember one of the years, I mean, we were staying in a hotel. It was just beside Ghar Hira. That means every day we'll pass and we see Ghar Hira, but we were on the road of Makkah. So you'll see Ghar Hira going to the Haram, coming to back to the Haram. So Ghar Hira is in Makkah, you see, because after expansion, however, the top is all the way out and it's not considered in Makkah. So what is prohibited? Al-Muharram min al-Khuruji an Makkah بعد الفراغ من أعمال العمرة إنما هو الخروج عنها إلى محل آخر. So the prohibition of exiting Makkah after the completion of the Amal of the Umrah is nothing but going out of going out of city of Makkah to any other place, even if that place is not city, exiting Makkah. So the issue is exiting Makkah. وأما المحلات المستحدثة التي تعد جزءا من المدينة المقدسة في العصر الحاضر فهي بحكم المحلات القديمة في ذلك. Now the expansions, he said, the contemporary or the recent expansions, which makes these expansions part of Makkah, like Aziziyah. Aziziyah is a strip adjacent to Mina, like this is Aziziyah and this is Mina, side by side. Mina is out of Makkah, Aziziyah is in Makkah. Why Mina is out of Makkah? Because Mina is considered Mina, ancient. You cannot change Mina and say it is Makkah. Now surrounding Mina is all Makkah, but still that is like a zone, you see, untouchable zone kind of thing. Like when you travel sometimes, I remember that in Emirates, when you travel, so there are some places that are not part of Emirate, part of Oman. So you enter Oman and then you exit, you're back in Emirates, like a small area kind of thing. Our surrounding is all Emirates. Okay. So you're traveling and then there's a patch and they say, welcome to Sultanate Oman. Okay. And then you just drive like 3-4 minutes or 5 minutes. And now, thank you for visiting Sultanate Oman. So you don't feel like you're entering a country, like you're passing a country. So surrounding is Emirates, and there's a small patch of Sultanate Oman, and vice versa. There are areas in Oman, they are like little bit patches of Emirates. So this is something with their agreements. So similarly, Mina is Mina. Even if the surrounding of all Mina and Arafat are Makkah, for example, so Mina and Muzdalifah, they're Mina and Muzdalifah. They're very small areas relatively into the huge expansions around Mina and around Muzdalifah. Arafat, yes, it's a bit in desert kind of thing, but but Mina is Mina, not Makkah. So if I go Mina, that spot, I exited Makkah. But if I go around it, which is Makkah, you're okay. In your hotel, this is your hotel, and this is, you can see the pelting of the stone area just from the balcony of your hotel. So it's just beside, but that is Mina and your hotel is Makkah. So don't go to that area, but stay in your Makkah area. So he says that all these expansions of Makkah are considered like old Makkah, because Sayyid al-Khudri Quddus had this peculiarity of old Makkah. Makkah is what was old. Whatever expansions are, even though they're called Makkah, they do not take the rule of Makkah. But then other Maraja, like Sayyid Sistani Damadullah and other Maraja, they consider everything expanded is considered Makkah, orphan, in common consideration. So he says that وَأَمَّا الْمَحَلَّاتِ الْمُسْتَحْدَثَةِ, and as for the contemporary expansions, okay, التي تعد جزءا من المدينة المقدسة, which is considered, in commonly it is considered part of the holy city of Makkah. في العصر الحاضر, in this contemporary time, in this recent modern times, recent era, فهي بحكم المحلات القديمة في ذلك. They take the ruling of the old areas of Makkah. Okay, so for them, for Sayyid Sistani, old and new Makkah, everything is Makkah. There's no need for distinguishing. وعليه, based on that, فلا بأس للحاج أن يخرج إليها بعد الفراغ من عمرته لحاجة أو بدونه. So these expansions of Makkah, there's no problem in going to them because they are Makkah. He's not exiting Makkah. He's exiting old Makkah, ancient Makkah, but he's still in Makkah. So Sayyid Sistani Damadullah says, wherever he goes, it's Makkah. It's all Makkah. So even if there's no need for it, he can go. But as I said, Ghar Hira is part in Makkah, in expansions, and part is out of the area, like it's in the desert type of area. And where you go in the top, so that is how Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah does not allow to go to the top unless if it was a haja, then it goes to the previous ruling of necessity, even if it was not a severe necessity. So here in Makkah areas, you can go whether there's need or there's no need. You can go, enjoy. You want to go get dinner, the restaurant is in the new Makkah expansions. Khalas, go there and eat. It's not a haja. Even forget about severe haja. Not many. You have lots of restaurants inside the old Makkah. So why do you have to go new? That's fine because it's Makkah. So there's no harm in for a person who's performing Hajj to visit those areas after completion of the Umrah, regardless having need for going there or no need for going there. Okay, so we might need to yes. Ruling number 154. We're out of our time. Let's take this ruling and end it up. إذا خرج من مكة بعد الفراغ من أعمال العمرة من دون إحرام ففيه صورتان. If he leaves Makkah after completing the أعمال of Umrah, okay, إذا خرج من مكة بعد الفراغ من أعمال العمرة من دون إحرام, without entering the state of إحرام, ففيه صورتان. There are two situations. So what is this? He completed his A'mal, Umrah, and now he's going to leave Makkah. Can he leave? The ruling we said previously. Now the consequences are mentioned in this rule. The ruling we also said, yes, he can leave for his needs, even if the need was not severe, as long as he's aware that he's going to come back to Makkah. That we mentioned the ruling. Now here we have the what is the consequences, potential ruling, what will happen if he does not come in time. So he said there are two scenarios. Scenario number one, أن يكون رجوعه قبل مضي الشهر الذي اعتمر فيه ففي هذه الصورة يلزم الرجوع إلى مكة من دون إحرام فيحرم منها للحج ويخرج إلى عرفات. Remember that one month visa kind of thing, that when you enter Makkah, you are allowed to leave Makkah, enter, exit for 1 lunar month, like completing the lunar month. Okay, so it could be like 1 week left to the lunar month, it could be 3 days, 1 day, or from the first day. So whatever is your month, Rajab, for example, once Rajab finishes, your visa ends. You have to, if you leave Makkah in Sha'ban, you have to get another Umrah. So as long as you are going to enter Makkah in Rajab, there's no need for entering with the state of Ihram. So this is ruling number one. So now we are applying that rule where? On Umrat al-Tamattu. Remember the gap between Umrat al-Tamattu and Hajj al-Tamattu? Between this gap, can I leave? We said yes, with two conditions. Necessity, need, even if it's not severe, and awareness that you are going to come back. We said you can leave. So now the issue comes, what if you leave in Dhul Qa'd and come back in Dhul Hajj? 2 different months, 2 different lunar months. Are we going to apply that rule of a month, 1 Umrah per month? Or no, we are not going to apply because it's Umrah al-Tamattu. Sayyidi Sistani Damadullah applies it. He said no. If he comes back, الرجوع إلى مكة, so أن يكون رجوع قبل مضي الشهر. His return is before completing the lunar month. الذي اعتمر فيه, the one he performed the Umrah in it. ففي هذه الصورة, in this case, يلزمه الرجوع. He must come back to Makkah. من دون الإحرام, without Ihram, because he is in the still, his month, his Umrah is valid because he's coming back in the same month. فيحرم منها للحج. He has to come back to Makkah and enter the state of Ihram for Hajj and leave for Hajj إلى عرفات. يخرج إلى عرفات. That's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2. أن يكون رجوعه بعد مضي الشهر الذي اعتمر فيه. He did his Umrah in Dhul Qa'd. He's coming back when? In Dhul Hajj. He's coming back in Dhul Hajj to perform his A'mal of Hajj, to enter the state of Ihram from Mecca. So he says that, wait. When did you do your Umrah of Tamattu? I did in Dhul Qa'dah. And when did you leave? Just 2 days before, like it was 28th Dhul Qa'dah. Yeah, but now today is the first Dhul Hajj. Your month changed. You are in a new month. Your Umrah is valid for 1 month, lunar month. Month finishes, your Umrah finishes. You can't come back to Makkah without Ihram. So enter the state of Ihram and come back to Makkah so that you can, that Ihram is of Umrah. That means perform the Umrah. Enter the state of Ihram, come back, redo your Umrah. Okay? And then, now he says the Sistani gives an option to do either Umrah Mufrad or Umrah Tamattu for certain evidences he has. But anyhow, that we are going to discuss tomorrow, inshallah, or in our upcoming session. Here we are going to end with that if his return was after completion of the month in which he had done Umrah Tamattu, then in this case, it is necessary upon him or obligatory upon him to enter Makkah through the Ihram. And يلزمه الإحرام بالعمرة للرجوع إليها, to return to Makkah. And then yeah, so inshallah, ruling number 155, we will keep it for our next session. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين.